Hello, all. Thanks again for tuning in to another one of my videos. And for those of you who listen to the podcast, you know who you are. Just want to take a quick look at the new Paramount release on 4K of Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong. Many of you who know me personally know what an important film this is to me in my childhood, having seen it in February of 1977. My mother took me to see it in a theater. Big deal for me, a game changer. I admit the film does have its flaws, but nevertheless, it holds a special place in my heart. And it's an interesting thing about this film. It has been given short shrift on home video up until the last 2 or 3 years. In 2011, I believe it was. Boy, the year's just 2011. 2021. I believe it was, correct myself. Shout Factory, Scream Factory, put out a deluxe collector's edition of this film for the first time on Blu-ray. So it was the first time it was in high definition. We're talking about, of course, the 1976 King Kong, and it was a very good special edition with the television cut of the film that nobody ever thought they would see. It was a big surprise to all of us. And, you know, there were a lot of great other bonus features. There was a commentary by Rick Baker. A good friend of mine, Ray Morton, also did commentary on the feature film. Just a really solid set. And the picture quality was nothing to scoff at either. Well, after over a decade of the Blu-ray format having existed and this film never being released on high definition, suddenly the following year we got this, ladies and gentlemen. The Studio Canal, the folks at Studio Canal released a 4K edition of the film. In case you didn't pick it up, here's what it looked like. There you go. Came with a nice little poster here as well. This release was a little on the controversial side because a lot of people said that it had a green teal look to the transfer. Now, I will say about that it did have a little bit of a green tinge, some of the scenes, but not to the point where it was totally distracting for me. I felt like the film had, the transfer rather, had a lot of grain that gave it a filmic look, and the teal that people were complaining about wasn't enough to really bother me. The audio sound, 5.1 surround soundtrack, was pretty solid for a film shot in 1976. The television cut was in Blu-ray, and it has a 2.0 surround sound, 2.0 sound track. I'll get that out. It was fine too, but very comparable to the Scream Factory release from the year prior. So now we have, which brings us up to the current day, the Paramount release in 4K of King Kong. Now, my big question on this was, is it going to have any of the extras? That was the first question a lot of us had. Is it going to have any of the extras that were on the old Scream Factory? And I say old, it's only 3 years old at this point. So not really all that old. But we were wondering if these extras were going to carry over. Well, the answer to that question very quickly was no, they were not. It does retain the television cut of the film on a separate Blu-ray. It does have the film in a 4K upgrade for the first time domestically. Now, here's the packaging on this. You kind of see there, you slide it out, and you have the original John Berkey art, as it were, and then you have this more John Berkey art on the back there, and then you have the discs that come housed in this set there. Now the big question is, on my I have a projector, and I have a 100-inch screen, so it's pretty close to a theatrical experience. Not, it's not the same as watching it in a theater, but it's pretty immersive. Let's just say that. The soundtrack was fine, no problem there. If you turn the subwoofer up, you can certainly hear a lot of low-level activity, shall we say. John Barry's score comes through nice and clear in the rear channels. As far as the actual picture transfer, I'm going to say that it looks pretty good. And in some ways, though, I kind of sort of preferred the Studio Canal because it had a little more grain. It had more of a filmic look. There's some grain in this transfer, but it doesn't quite have that filmic look that the Studio Canal version had, even though it did have that green tinge that people are talking about. I mean, the differences are negligible here. So, if you haven't picked up King Kong on 4K yet, number one, be sure to keep your old Shout or Scream Factory rather. Keep that old Scream Factory set because those extras are really good and you don't want to lose those. And if you're looking for the upgrade, just go ahead and skip the Studio Canal and you'd be doing fine by getting the Paramount release. Like I said, the difference is negligible. I'm glad I have both. But the bottom line is the audio and video here both get a 4 out of 5 for me. And the film is what it is. Like I said, it holds a special place in my heart. I know a lot of people are critical of it. That's okay. I'm all right with that. But King Kong is a big deal. And I'm so glad to have it in 4K. And this is a limited edition, folks. So get them while you can. Because they will sell out and they'll probably be quite collectible at some point. So that's my quick take on the Paramount release of Dino De Laurentiis' King Kong. Thanks for those of you who watch the videos. I'm fairly new to this, but some people have requested that I do videos more often, so I'm trying to rectify that situation. Thanks, and until next time, keep spinning those discs.